Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going today? Here in Marseille, France, it's November the 19th, about 2:30 p.m. I'm incredibly grateful for so many things lately because things have come to fruition in a positive way. And I'm talking about the bear market coming to fruition. When I'm in a place like here in France, I can't help but reflect on so many things and it gives me clarity. Yesterday, I went to one of the most beautiful churches I've ever been to. It's called Notre Dame de la Garde. And I stayed there for about an hour, 2 hours, and it gave me tons of clarity about what I'm doing with my life and how this market in particular is having an effect on me. It makes me feel truly grateful for having you guys as my follower, and I'm very appreciative of everything that I've come across lately. And I'm very happy about the adversity and persevering through them during difficult times. And I need you guys to know that I'm incredibly happy right now. Maybe 2 weeks ago, not the happiest because of just personal things going on. But how can I complain about life in general when I'm literally here in France right now? On Wednesday, I'm going to Italy with my beautiful friend Sarah. And I'm truly grateful that she's actually here visiting me because it's really changing the way that I'm just seeing life in general. Yeah, what can I say? The grin on my face says it all, right? That I'm just happy in general. And I need you guys to stay incredibly positive about everything that is going on right now. Whether it is a downtrend, whether it is an uptrend, we have to make sure that we are mentally sharp enough to acknowledge the fact that Bitcoin will have these waves up and down. And it's up to us to discern that in a bear market, right, we have to understand it's very different than a bull market, guys. In a bear market, the reason why I love a bear market is because it's the complete opposite of the moon boys, right? Everybody thinks it's going to go to the moon, and in a bearish market, it's much easier for me because I've come from a past where I wasn't really a happy person, and I've gone through so many obstacles in life to get to where I am, put it that way. And because I have, right, back then I was a very pessimistic person, very negative person as well, which actually ended up shaping my trading style of being a bear market specialist, where I make 80% of my profit in a bear market, right? And you got to understand that once again, trading and finding your style and developing it, it's actually going to mold your personality, right? Or your trading style is molded to your personality. So over time, you will find out a lot about yourself and what you're capable of and how you perceive the world through your trading style. So to me, trading is kind of like a life philosophy as well. And once again, back then I was very pessimistic, I was very negative, I didn't have a good outlook on life. And it made me the kind of trader that specialized in the bear market where I love to short. And now I realize that I'm a completely different person in terms of being positive, right? Being always optimistic in general. And being very carefree and spontaneous. But I maintain the traits of these trading styles that I developed about 3 years ago, and I'm actually very grateful for that. So what I need you guys to know as well is that in this bear market, you are going to get a chance to obtain Bitcoin at a very cheap price for the long term. We have to understand that for traditional monetary fiat systems, Bitcoin, or whatever coin is coming out, it's got the chance to eventually usurp money, right? That's why it's very popular or a hot topic at the G20 summit or 22 summit, whichever one that was. That's why these big institutions, JP Morgan, Jamie Dimon, they're talking about Bitcoin. They're controlling, manipulating mainstream media. Like I always tell you guys many times that Bitcoin is a finite resource. And the cheaper it is, the more Bitcoin you can actually accumulate. And you have to think of the grand scheme of things over a long period of time, over 5 years, over 6 years, perhaps over 10 years, for your children growing up, right, that are just your kids right now. It's the investment of a lifetime, in my opinion. If you compare it to the dot-com industry, right, or the dot-com age where internet started to boom, well, yeah, we got a huge crash eventually, right? There was a bubble, but of course now it's better than ever. And the people that were early adopters, they're the people that ultimately ended up profiting the most. And I do believe we are still in the very early stages of cryptocurrency and blockchain in general. And I think that in 5 years, you guys are going to look back on this and say, what was the difference of me buying it at $5,000 and at $3,000 or even at $4,000? And when it gets to something over $100,000, which I'm very bullish and certain of, because I believe in blockchain technology in general, that guys, this $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 difference, it's not going to mean anything in the grand scheme of things, right? So for the day traders out there, If you guys are getting destroyed in the market, you need to take a step back. You need to realize that, hey, maybe you guys are not familiar with this type of market. Maybe you guys are very new in the market as well, right? And what brought you into the game was the allure of making a gigantic amount of profit over time. And if you guys are losing money, you guys need to really take a step back, tone down your position sizes, really study why you are taking these losses. I always, I'll tell you guys in my Udemy course number 2, which you guys should really get interested in purchasing it if you haven't already, because it talks about the psychological factors of thriving in any market and the mental game that's necessary to succeed. And it's not just about finding trades, guys. It's not just about finding the right setup. It's about making sure you're disciplined, making sure you are mentally sound, making sure that you are sharp, making sure that you guys are emotionally stable enough to make these types of trades, right? And it's not until a lot of time that you're emotionally stable enough to make sure that you stick to these stop losses, right? So if you guys are in a position right now where you're still in a long position from like 6,000 or 1,500, you're a day trader or a swing trader, you guys need to make sure, generally speaking about financial advice, you guys got to designate a new stop loss. I know a lot of you guys are in that boat right now, right? You have to designate a new stop loss and actually stick to it. That's what I recommend doing. If you guys are down about 10%, about 20% from your position already, and you're way past your stop loss, the last thing, okay, that I would ever recommend doing is basically doubling down. So if you're down 10, 20% once again, and you're way past your stop loss, never ever double down, because then you're trying to average your base price to a much lower price, right? But you've already way past your stop loss, and there's no point of doing that. The only time I recommend laddering, right, is within a specific range that you've already specified even before entering the trade, right? That's the only time, guys, I recommend to add more to your position. It has to be in a specific range, right? You either add more to your position in that specific range you've specified, or you add more on strength once you've set the criteria to enter a trade based on it not laddering accordingly because you couldn't fill those positions, right? So what are my plans right now for Bitcoin, okay? I'll tell you guys my plans right now for Bitcoin. I'm accumulating a total of about 10 Bitcoin till the end of the year, as you guys know from my tweet already. At whatever price, I will dollar cost average it, and I will make sure that I'm accumulating even more Bitcoin. Right now I'm at well over 100 Bitcoin already, to be quite honest, as you guys know, on my Nano Ledger. That's kept incredibly safe, as all yours should be as well, guys, right? Cold storage is extremely important. Make sure you guys are focusing on security. And just a general tip, and general advice, okay guys? Never ever keep your two-factor authentication on an actual phone that you're using that's on the road with you. Keep it on a really cheap phone, right? That has only touched the internet to download 2FA. Don't have a SIM card in it, don't have data, don't connect it to Wi-Fi. Only turn on and off the phone or the tablet if you're actually using to log in. Make sure you are printing the actual key itself on a piece of paper and storing it somewhere very safe. Make sure that you're also copying and pasting that actual key as well and putting it on like an offline USB storage that you can access many times. And back it up several times as well, because your 2FA is incredibly important, right? So anyways, my plan is to dollar cost average 10 more Bitcoin to have a total of 100 plus something. That's for the very long term. But what am I doing for day trading? What I'm doing for day trading is I'm actually going to be buying Bitcoin. Right now I've already bought 4 Bitcoin around the 5,200 region actually, and I plan to buy it down to about 4,900, right? And I will actually go into about an 8 Bitcoin position. An 8 Bitcoin position is going to be roughly about $40,000. So I plan to I plan to ladder my price for Bitcoin between the 5,250 and about the 4,900 range, right? I'm okay to get that $300 range in there, and I'm hoping to get my price roughly between 5,100. And why am I not just waiting till 4,900 or 5,000? It's because I don't know if it's going to get to that range. So I don't want to take that type of risk of missing out on it and only buying on strength, right? I want to make sure that I'm buying slowly in micro amounts, maybe a quarter of a Bitcoin at a time, spend about 1,250, something like that at a time. This way, if it keeps dropping, I'll actually get myself in a very good position while increasing slowly percentage-wise for my position size, right? And if it goes upwards, then I'm actually going to buy on strength. So anyways, I just want to give you guys a little bit of motivation and my thoughts in general about the market, right? I'm very optimistic in the future, and because I'm so optimistic, that's why I don't mind dollar cost averaging. And I'm also very certain of this bounce that's going to happen above $4,900. So anyways, thanks for joining me while I have my cup of morning coffee, and let's get into this actual technical analysis, okay? All right, guys, let's do this. I'm in a very serious mood today. So before we start, always show you guys my position, okay? I'm going to be 100% transparent with you guys always. This is where I'm starting to buy BTC. I bought at 52.61 just in case, right? And I will ladder this down to about the 4,900 region. And I'm going to get my base price roughly 5,100, around there, I'm hoping, okay? If that happens, we're going to get a very nice retracement. So this is kind of my ideal scenario. I'm going to show you guys it right here. My ideal scenario would be a fib retracement of the entire 5-wave structure with anywhere from, I think I'm going to have, honestly, I think I'm going to have anywhere between 8 to 10 BTC. I was going to go a little bit higher, but no. Then my risk to reward will be roughly this right here, okay? Just to start off, I want to tell you guys my exact thoughts. So my long position will be roughly around here because I think the 5-wave structure is going to be in soon. I will actually cut myself off at around 4,800, okay? So I want to be around right here, 5,100, okay? That's going to, I'm allocating a really large R unit, okay? R units can be defined very differently to a lot of people, but I want to allocate it to around the 382 Fibonacci level, and I want to get an RR of about maybe 2 to 1, okay? Yeah, 2 to 1. That's pretty big in my opinion. But around there, okay, maybe 4850, right? If there's any pressure to come to the downside. So my RR is around 2 to 1, where I could possibly make about 10%, okay? 10% on a 50K position is fairly large. Is it possible for this to happen? Absolutely, it's possible to happen. And my stop loss will be around 4850. As long as there's volume, that's going to be driving down the price further. I'm going to take my loss. I don't mind doing this, okay? I don't mind losing potentially 2,500 to make a possible 5,000 because I think that based on Elliot wave, it's going to probably break down a little bit further to around that range. And then if we swing it, it's going to be a very nice gain. So just looking at the level 2, where we're going to evaluate it quite often together as well, we're seeing this type of resistance to go down, right? So we're at the 5,200 region right now. We've already punctured 5,200, but the bulls came in to defend it fairly quickly. And I saw some people flashing or so we're getting a lot of pressure by the bears to actually drive down the price right now, right? You guys take a look at this. We're at 51.99 right now, right? We're definitely going to be driven down lower. I do still firmly believe that we're going to get a very bullish retracement soon. I'm not sure exactly when, but we have to take into consideration the daily chart right here being extremely low RSI at 14 already, right? So the bears are certainly driving it down right now. So first of all, let's explain and talk about how, generally speaking, Elliot waves form, right? For the people that are not familiar with Elliot waves, a typical impulse move down is something like this, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay? Something like this. And what I am trying to do is trying to catch it actually at a very aggressive price point. Okay, this is my aggressive price point right here at around whatever price this ends up being, right? But the better way to do it is to wait for a retracement that bounces up like that, and then it comes downwards, right? And then if it comes downwards, what I recommend generally doing is perhaps buying it on a very bullish retracement, anywhere between 618 Fibonacci level to all the way 382, just a small position, and then you want to wait for a breakout up here, okay? You wait for a breakout up there where it's now going to break upwards, right? To do perhaps a 5-wave structure going upwards like that. That'll make the A wave, right? So this right here is most likely going to be a A wave, in my opinion. And then we get a 5-wave structure. It's something that looks great like that. And then you swing it to the A, B, C, right? Oops, sorry, I'm going to actually do this a little bit better. A, you do this to the B, and you do that to the C, right? Wherever C ends up going. And then you target a Fibonacci range. That's something reasonable, right? Maybe the golden ratio up there, right? Perhaps some people will even buy on a B right here as well, right? For the entire A and then B to form. So right now we're getting a lot of pressure right now. See, notice at the $2,000 range, people are just really spiking up the price right now, okay? Because I believe that this is actually the 5-wave structure that's formed already. Yeah, so I'm only in a $10,000 position right now, but you guys noticed that we swung all the way down to about 51.71. and the bulls just completely stepped in and bam, $30 spike right back up to the $2,000 region right now. Okay, let's also check CoinMarketCap. Let's do an overall trend, overall analysis of everything going on. Probably guessing 175 billion. Ooh, we're actually below 175 billion market cap right now. We're at 168. Any coins just dying right now? Every coin is just really losing it right now. The reason I'm not swinging or focusing on any other coin right now is because Bitcoin is definitely going to dictate the market, okay? And because Bitcoin is going to dictate the market, we want to be focusing on this coin specifically, right? So we see that on the 14th and 15th, we're at about 7.4 or $7 billion, okay? And then here, we're at 5 billion, 4.3 billion, 4.1 billion right here, right? And then the volume slowly dwindled because we were trading at a very low range of the support. But clearly we didn't bounce back up there, right? But now today, within the past 24-hour volume, we're at 5.4 billion because of this large sell-off happening. So let's also review what happened here. I want to make sure that you guys get a very thorough review every day. Always draw your support and your resistances with some bear trapped and bull trapped regions into consideration. Never draw it wick to wick, guys, okay? Please never draw it wick to wick like that. That's just a horrible way to draw it, in my opinion, from the extreme ranges, because you just don't see that type of bull trap or bear trap regions that need to be taken into consideration. So here, clearly, this right here was a massive bull trap region, and that was actually a really good run. A lot of people lost a lot of money. So take a look right here, guys, that the bulls are really not holding right now, but that's okay, all right? So I mentioned yesterday that if we actually broke down from this specific range right here, okay, because we were actually doing something like that, if you guys have noticed. Okay, so here it was clearly defined that we fell below the 55 EMA, we dropped down below it pretty hard, and then what ended up happening was that, right, we tried to get back into this region, into the support range, which was now a resistance, and it completely broke down. So that would have been your very beautiful signal to short the market, to target around 5,500 actually, right? And that's just exactly what we ended up doing. And then now we ended up getting this type of formation as well, right? Consider some of these regions bear trapped and bull trapped regions, like how I'm about to show you, right? So here it's a beautiful way to draw this symmetric triangle of however we see it, okay? You guys see exactly how I'm drawing it? And look, okay, if you take a look at right here, where I'm talking about it actually breaking below the 55 EMA and also falling below the breaking below the 55 EMA and the support, right? It kind of the exact same thing happened here. So if you guys notice that it broke below the symmetric triangle and it also broke below the 55 EMA right there, that was your signal to actually short the market, okay? And where would you have targeted, honestly? Okay, the place that you should have been targeting it is we're going to go to like a 2-day structure over here so you guys can see it very clearly. Then the target would have been roughly 5,000 because it's the actual support, in my opinion, okay? Notice how close we are trending to this support range. Like right here, this particular high was around 4,970. So that's honestly where I think we're going to find some massive support because it's a key psychological number. If we don't find support there, we're just honestly going to drop down up to even right here, I'm guessing 4,500 next psychological range, right around here. Okay, so these regions in general is going to be a very strong buy zone for day traders. It just makes sense. We're seeing a lot of people come into play. My position, guys, it's okay. I'm allocating a massive R unit, keep in mind, of anywhere between 5 to 6%, right? So I'm okay to swing this for a long period of time because I believe that we are going to get some sort of bullish retracement soon, okay? So before we get into a technical analysis for Elliot Wave, we're going to talk about RSI. We talk about the 2-day RSI, for example, we're at 22, okay? We look at the daily RSI, and this is very important to understand that RSI will oscillate between 0 and 100, and whenever we are on the very low side, for example, 14 is where we're at now, there's a strong chance that we are actually going to end up downtrending, right? We're going to end up bouncing. So I'm just going to buy 0.25 BTC at a time here, and I'm going to buy in very small micro amounts because I genuinely believe that we're going to get some sort of bullish retracement very soon. I cannot see this going down much further right now. I'm only down a tiny amount, but I'm okay to just kind of wait around right now, okay? I'm okay to manage my position very, very slowly here. And I do believe that you guys need to have an extreme amount of patience, okay? Here we are bouncing right back up to the 2,000 ranges already, Okay, even though we ended up hitting about 5170, perfect. That's okay. I don't mind buying on strength just a little bit, right? I'm just gonna nibble as we come down further or as we find some sort of support. So RSI, the daily, is at 15. On the 12-hour right now, okay, we're getting a really low here, and now we're getting a 16.4 before we're at 12, right? So we're seeing that the RSI right now on this lower point is actually higher than the previous low already. So it's a really, really good sign, in my opinion, that there's going to be some sort of bounce very soon. And also take a look at the volume, okay? The volume is actually picking up as well. Let's go to a 1 hour chart and we say to ourselves, all right, this low point right there was at 5200 ranges was at about 19, but now we're actually at about 22, even though we're getting a lower low, okay? And we're seeing the histogram slowly rounding off here. It's actually not ticking down nearly as much. So that's a very bullish sign, in my opinion, that we're going to get some sort of momentum change first. We have to think of it as on a lower time frame first, and then it's going to cascade over to a higher time frame. So I think it's going to do something like that, right? Sorry, let me just draw it a little bit better here. It's going to do something like that, and it's actually not even that. It's probably going to do something like this. I think it's going to go up because this will generally do something like that. So just as an example, right, we end up on the blue line, it crosses over and then it crosses back to the downside and then it crosses one more, and people are going to focus on this specific point right there to go long, right? Because this is going to be the second crossover that people are interested in. And then we take a look at the histogram side as well, okay? On the histogram side, that's exactly what we want. A lower tick on the histogram, and that will be beautiful. So now we're seeing a lot of wicked regions right now, okay? So I didn't actually get my chance to buy around there, but I'm okay. I'm in a very good position right now. So now we're going to do an Elliot wave count, right? We're going to just generally speak about what's been going on. And I wanted to define, first of all, what the Elliot wave count was, right? Just as an example there earlier in the video. I see this honestly as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming down. And we're just going to do, for fun, just test and check specific points, okay? So we're going to check some specific points like this. We see ourselves, right? This one's hitting a very bearish level of the 361.8. So next target would be roughly a little bit past the, would be slightly past. See, right here, we hit the 361.8, right? And here, if you guys notice, it's a little bit below the 461.8 range already, and that's actually a very good place for me to be comfortable. So if we're taking the entire fib structure of this range, right, where first of all, we checked with our Fibonacci extension tool. Now we're going to check this range as well and say it gets down to about, let's just say 5K, right? Well, you look at the possible gain going to the upside, and that's actually a really big gain of about, I'm trying to actually click this here. You know, you were talking about a 10-11% gain there, so I'm okay to be in this type of position. But now what we want to do is we want to break down this specific structure only, okay? Because we want to get a 5-wave count in there. So now let's deduce that, now that we've defined this as our Elliott wave, 5 count coming down, okay? Let's break it down further. And now we're going to break it down as much as we possibly can on a micro level, right? We see this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 coming down, so that's got to be a 1. So we're just going to draw that very loosely. And we see is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, okay, I'm just going to actually draw each one for you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I see this as 1. I see this as 2. And I see this as 3, 4, and 5, right? So because we're seeing this right here as one wave, where the blue section is, or sorry, the green section is, right? That's one wave right there, okay? Coming down. That's one wave. And now we see this as our second section coming down. That means that we're already in our 5th wave, and now we want to break down this structure right here to a possible 5-wave count, right? We wanna do a 5-wave count for whatever is happening in here. So let's go down to an even lower time frame and see if this is making any type of ending 5th wave diagonal, right? It might, but we don't really know anything yet, right? So the way that I'm seeing this right now, let's go to a 5-minute time frame, an even lower one, okay? I see this kind of as an leading first wave diagonal of some sort, or 3s, right? So let's just say that we're actually doing something, even something like that, right? That could be 1, 2, and this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That could be the 3rd right there already. And now we're definitely getting a 5th wave that's coming down here. So it's actually almost finished. But let's do it on a bigger time frame, like a 10-minute chart, just because it subdivides a lot nicer, right? It's very difficult to see. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4. Yeah, we're almost done the 5th wave, I have to say, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this could be 4 somewhere there. That could be, or 3 there. That could be 4. There could be a 5th wave coming up right away, right? So are we getting any type of bullish retracement? We got to talk about that, right? We got to take a look here. We're seeing that's a low point. This is a higher point, and this is an even higher point, right? But notice that this is getting lower. This is getting lower. This is getting lower as well right there, right? So we see the histogram slowly starting to level off already. And this one is actually not getting to a lower point as well, right? It's not getting to a lower point than the previous one. So yeah, I do believe that we're going to get a bounce very soon. It's just a matter of being extremely patient with everything going on. And you know what? I need to reassure you guys that we are to finding a support range right now. So yeah, I'm just nibbling right now, 0.25, as you guys have heard, right? We spiked up a little bit there to the 51.20 ranges, but I'm in no rush to be buying big positions. I am a professional trader, and I will absolutely, with certainty, make sure that I understand that we need to buy small amounts. If I actually go to, for example, a 1 hour chart, it's actually the most distinctive, right? Where I see this as perhaps 1, 2, and I see this as 3, and I see this as 4, and there's a 5 coming down here already. I don't think we're just going to drop off of a cliff, guys. Like, it's just not going to happen for this wave because the second wave coming down was already very large. So I still stand by my prediction of finding support above 4,900. I don't know exactly where, and I do believe that if we do find above 4,900, I'll just average out my fib to about 5K there, just as an example. For a case that we're using, or even we'll go to 4,900 here, right? If we go lower down and we dropped another 5%, big whoop did he do, in my opinion. Not really too concerned about that at all, right? Well, let's just say 5K because it's kind of a stronger number to me. Well, that's still a really big percentage gain of about 11-12%. So anyways, I just want to give you guys my 2 cents and give you guys a fairly detailed technical analysis of what's going on. And I hope that you guys take this with a grain of salt and always remember to trust your own decision. And please stay extremely cautious in the market, guys, right? This is not a time for newer traders to get greedy. Make sure you guys are reducing your position sizes for this type of volatility, because with heavy volatility comes a very strong chance for newer traders to get completely destroyed in the market. What you want to be doing is trading simply for the experience if you are new first. And if this is your first bear market that you've been in, you guys are going to be in for quite a treat. But most importantly, you are going to take away a lot from this because you will now develop tons of skills under your belt and you're going to have even more experience than you've had before. So always stay positive and make sure that you understand that everything is for the experience, guys. And it's just so you can have more lessons under your belt that will eventually refine you and make you become a better trader. So thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate this. If you guys love these videos, make sure you guys are clicking on that notification button on YouTube because I plan to be making many more videos for you guys, right? I personally believe that I want to be a very trustable person for you guys. I want to be trustworthy, right? I want to gain your guys' respect as well and be a very valuable source of information. And hopefully we can all work together and see this bull run that's going to happen in a few months or a few years together, right? Make sure you guys are liking my content on Twitter. Make sure you guys are liking it on YouTube as well. Give me a thumbs up. Follow me on YouTube, on Twitter, and on Instagram for my travels as well. And don't forget, guys, on Wednesday in 2 days, I am going to Rome. That's right. My friend Sarah and I are going to Rome. Maybe more than that, who knows? But I'm actually incredibly happy to be traveling with her, and I'm so grateful that she is here. And just sometimes things work out much differently than you plan. And I'm actually sincerely grateful that I have the most lovely company here in France, and I get an opportunity to travel with her and get to know her better. So anyways, have yourselves a great day, guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys very soon for my next video. Bye now.